Gathered together from the cosmic reaches of the universe, here in this great hall of justice.
Hey, toy fans, welcome to our Toy Addictions, your source for what was then, what's now, what's about to be in the world of toys. From Atco to Veliverse, we talk about it all. There's something for everyone in our coffers of toy joy, so without further ado, let's chat little plastic people and things. I'm Matt, producer of this trip down the toys rabbit hole. To my right, that host and the old wacky lover of all things Bobby Bella, Aaron of 6 Inch. And across the table, your favorite seller of everything, Scalpor. Let's hit it. Love it.
Did I send you guys that picture of Scalpor yesterday, just as a reminder that you are Scalpor?
No.
That was awesome. I got to get that up here. That's funny.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning. Thanks for starting early.
Yeah.
I got yard work to do today.
Early.
Yeah.
Anyway, kicking her off real quick here. You can look for us on your favorite podcasting medium. Apple Podcasts, Podbean, Spotify, TuneIn Radio, iHeartRadio, Player FM, Podchaser, Amazon Music. You can also find us on YouTube. Look us up on Facebook, Instagram. Smash that like button. Let us know what you think.
Smash it.
Some quick toy news. Chicago Toy Show was awesomely packed. We're going to be talking about that one real quick here. But we also got Chi-Con coming up May 20th. 2023. If you're looking for any other information, talk to Richie Sandoval over at Midwest Collectibles. He's out in Romeoville. Address for that convention will be 4750 South Vernon Avenue, McCook, Illinois, 60525 for those people using their GPSs. That's going to be sponsored by Mr. Wayne's Pop Culture Collectibles in Westmont and Disc Replay of Orland, Downers, and Countryside.
Yes.
That's convention news for now. We got some Toy-Con stuff coming up, but I got to look that stuff up yet.
Nice.
Cool beans. Cool
Yeah.
beans. Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm making my time notes here so we stay on task, boys.
What?
Aaron of 6 Inches getting OCD on us, Ron.
Yeah. Well, I usually do it during the intro music, but I was kind of jacking around, pointing at people, gargling.
See what you get for jacking off?
Well,
You're going to go blind doing that.
I'd figure after as many years of experience as I have of it, I'd be better, but we all slip in our old age.
Yeah.
So, Ron missed the toy show last
did.
week.
He went out and got plastered.
All day.
It was all morning, all afternoon, and all evening.
What time you start? Like 10 o'clock in the morning?
Yep. And I didn't get home till 1.
You got train stop trashed.
I did. I'm getting...
So explain how that worked and why you missed the toy show.
A couple friends asked us a few weeks previously, do we want to take a train ride and do some day drinking? I'm like, yeah, duh.
Who doesn't?
So we dropped off. We hopped on a train in Naperville, drove out to Brookfield, hit 2 or 3 bars, came back. So Brookfield as far northeast as we went. And then came back and hit, what was that? Downers, Lyle, LaGrange. We just stopped off, had a couple drinks somewhere, and then hit the train going back. And then it ended in Lyle at a whiskey bar where we were just getting ridiculous.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that sounds pretty ridiculous.
Yeah. Well,
Very ridiculous.
Pappy Van Winkle 15, Blanton's Gold. If you know, you know. It got a little pricey.
It got a little pricey.
Got a little pricey.
Got a little pricey and it got a little dicey.
We had a great time. And then I woke up probably around 10
Yeah.
after I seen some
Yeah.
texts come through.
I mean,
and I'm
even
like,
I was already at the show at that point. But
yeah, I'm like to the wife, I'm like, let's get up and go. And she goes, you want to go? And I said no. And I sat back down.
Yeah.
And then about 11:30, I said, all right, it's time to go. I'm going to go shower. You going to go? No. And I sat back down. And I'm like, whatever. I have eBay if I want something.
See, well, and honestly, when it comes down to it, that's the best part of toy collecting is it's not a job. You do it because you want to do it. And sometimes you don't want to do it.
Well, I wanted to do it. I just couldn't do it.
Oh, well, then you fucked up.
Yeah. If I had worked that day, I'd be calling in sick. Guaranteed.
So yeah, that's not good.
no,
That's
it was
not
it was rough. Well, and then the draft night the other night too. I was
So-
out till 1.
So this is
I
our
gotta slow down.
so for our business here in the podcast. This is your HR intervention. You're fired.
Okay.
Get out of here.
I wish I would do that in my new job.
Get out of here. We'll let you back into your house when we're done in a couple hours. No, just kidding. Now, honestly, dude, you probably would not have been happy there. It was
It was
packed.
It was absolutely. I mean, literally.
It was
I walked in. I was there the minute it opened,
Yep.
and when I walked into the first building, which is the poultry building, I think is poultry, rabbit, and then whatever the open air one was,
swine,
swine.
poultry, rabbit, and swine.
I walked into the poultry building, and there were some stragglers walking around. I mean, your typical people just going to start at the beginning and make their way around or
Right,
whatever.
like I
By the
did.
time I got to the turnaround on the other end of the building, it was I couldn't walk.
Yeah.
I mean, there were so many people packed in there, and there were so many people with their kids and double wide strollers. I mean,
Yeah.
it was I mean, it was
that's the ridiculous thing. I was kind of telling him about that the next day. He ended up calling me on my way home from work, and I was like, dude, they need to like make some rule changes in there, like no strollers. I mean, like I get you want to take your kids, but honestly, like if the kid's sitting in a stroller, he doesn't really know what he's looking for anyways, or what he's looking at. You're just taking him there because you don't have a babysitter for him.
Yeah.
So
Then don't go.
Like, please, like, you
Don't
know,
go.
I get that you want to get your kids into toys early, but not there because they're going to be like, I don't want to do that. That's crazy. No, I had a very similar experience. So I came in, I went there with a very set agenda. My goal was to get in and out of there in like 2 hours. And I was actually done in 2 hours and 20 minutes. And I saw the entire show. I think if there was like 90 aisles of toys, I think I saw 89 of them. I may have missed one aisle.
Really?
I had a very set agenda. I wanted to look for my Obi-Wan Kenobi
Yeah.
to go on my display at home. I was looking for that Jedi Knight Luke, but the one without the tunic, the one like just kind of in the look. It kind of looks like an Imperial shirt that he was wearing during the final battle during Return of the Jedi. I was looking for the prototype armor Boba Fett that you sadly told me you weren't going to sell me a couple of weeks ago. And then if I could find it on a decent deal, I was looking for a Michelangelo Super 7. So I found the Boba Fett and the Luke. I think I found them both in the second building, in the Rabbit building that was outside. And I'm like, well, shit, man. Like, you know, I was getting a little chilly, and I'm like, I'm going to head inside. Went to Swine to see if maybe I could get lucky, if I could find that Obi-Wan. And I was like, you know what? I'd be happy with that. I'll leave. Didn't find him. Ended up going inside. And then that smaller building that usually has more G.I. Joe stuff in it that I usually hang out in.
yeah.
Dude, I could not move in that building.
Yeah,
it was ridiculous.
I walked into the video. The video will show it if I ever get a chance to edit it up and get it up. The video will show just how stupid packed it was. I mean,
Yeah.
it was. You remember that guy that we were doing all the trades and stuff with because we were in that first building.
Yeah.
the first big building.
Yeah.
He was in the same spot this year.
Okay. Right
And
at the end.
I walked,
By the door.
right at the end. He was the first one you see when you walk in the door to the right. And I walked up and I was talking to him for a couple of minutes, and he remembered who I was, and I handed him a card for the podcast and stuff.
Yeah.
And I was like, "What do you think? What do you think of this?" He just kind of looked around. And he says, "I think I'm going to make some money today."
Yeah.
Oh my God, I could not believe. I mean,
Yeah.
it was so slow walking in there. You're shuffling.
Dude,
To get in between people, and then there'd be like an open gap, and then you'd be shuffling for a while. And
I got there
Yeah.
like 5 after 9, and I mean, dude, you know how big that parking lot is? Like how
Oh, yeah.
ridiculous that thing had to be at least 2/3 full.
Seriously?
For as big as that parking lot is, like I had to drive around a little bit to find a spot, and there was already gobs of people at 9 o'clock walking out with giant bags of stuff.
I know.
I mean, yeah,
I know. There was when I got
toys
there,
were moved that day.
when I got there, I was walking out of the poultry building into the rabbit building, and I was seeing the same stuff. I mean, there was already people walking out with huge bags full of crap, just out of those two buildings right there.
But I did see something that warmed my heart a little bit. There was this guy walking out. He had like, you know, those giant like 36-inch Turtles figures that I think that Nika
Yeah.
makes them. They're like so
Yeah.
realistic.
Yeah.
He had 2 of those. From what I could tell, look like Leonardo and Raphael, my 2 favorites. And he had something else that was like just as big, and he's got like 2 of them in this giant bag that he's barely carrying. And he's got another one that he's like humping on his shoulder, and his wife is walking next to him. Doesn't totally look happy, but she turns around and she goes, "Are you happy now?" And he's like, "Oh, hell yeah." And he's like going off. Like, and I'm like, that's what it's all about.
You happy now?
So like she wasn't like mad like saying
She's
it,
just-
but it was one of those things where just like, yeah,
I'm happy.
kind of got that feel like in my mind I'm going to pretend like he'd been looking for those for a long time, found them on a decent deal. She let him get them.
That's awesome.
And that's what collecting is about. So
That's awesome.
it was good. But honestly, I mean, other than the crowd, there wasn't really too many problems there. I didn't bump into any actors accidentally and tell them that their movie sucked, so that was a bonus for me.
Yes.
I did end up having to walk through almost the entire show before I found that Obi-Wan. But on the way to the Obi-Wan, I did find the 4th thing that I bought, and we're going to kind of touch on that a little bit. This 1/12 Collective Mezco Crow figure sitting on the table here. I am a huge fan of the Crow. It's probably my 2nd or 3rd favorite movie of all time, but there's just not enough stuff for it.
Yeah.
And I'm always looking for good things with it. The amount of accessories that this figure comes with, and I guess we can probably fire up the old screen here. So the amount of accessories that it comes with is amazing. Now these are all shots of the figure itself. So you've got, it's cloth goods, clothes. The clothes don't come off. There's even a note that says, these are made for posing and displaying. They're not really made for playing. The clothes are permanent. They don't come off if they start to rip or they start to come off, like your figure's junk. Which I'm like, you know what?
you have a shitty figure.
Pass it out to and say that it's for the it's for the adult collector, not for kids. But it's got 10 different hands. It's got 4 different heads. It comes with the mask that inspired him to paint his face in the first place. It's got a headstone and it's got 1 crow sitting on it. You only see the silhouette, but it's a white Gabriel cat, and yes, that is a picture of the toy bending down to pet it. There's one of the other heads, kind of more of a surprise face. As Matt pointed out, yeah, not as big as in the movie, but it does come with this pretty sweet ass like crow on fire on the ground. It actually looks really cool if you stand him in it. Comes with this guitar. This is from when he went and killed Fun Boy. Yeah, there's another crow here, one of him flying. And then the serious stoic face. Here's what I was telling you about the wraps on his arms. That looks like the electrical tape.
Oh, yeah.
So that's part of the cloth goods. It's attached to the shirt. But you can see how it's even textured to look like it's an electrical tape wrap. It's not
that
just
figure
like,
looks so crappy because look at his wrist. You could tell there's a joint instead of like
I know he's
human
so fake,
skin.
so AI.
I know.
But he comes with this cool necklace with the wedding ring on it. Let's see. These little ropes on his pants from when he tied his leg back together, and there's ropes across his belly here. Actual strings that they have like sewn into the pants, and they move around. The angry face, and actually this face.
Did you get the rain?
The rain did not come with it.
Okay, so that's the deluxe version.
So that's the super
Okay.
mega deluxe. That's the 150 version. Comes with a little hose you just sprinkle over the top of it.
That's pretty good.
But the cool thing is this face, this angry face from this final scene of the movie when it was raining, like the hair is sitting more down on his head. It's not kind of as fluffed as much.
Yeah.
It looks like it's
So you
wet.
could tell it's wet. Okay.
Yeah, it absolutely looks like it's wet. Yeah, I mean, I can't say enough about this figure. I mean, the things that I can do posing-wise with this figure is just outstanding. So everything that I've heard, I'm a Bobby Valla guy, as Matt puts it. He's always talking up Mezco, and
He has Jesus hands.
now that I have, he does. Tell me if you've heard this one. Jesus walks into a bar, and he hands the innkeeper 3 nails, and then the guy shoots him. He's like, ow. He goes, can you put me up for the night? I always thought that, like, the way that they snuck that joke into that movie was hilarious. So, but yeah, so here's a look at
Fantastic.
it. You get a dynamic stand, so if you want to put him in some kind of jumping, flying pose, this dynamic stand, there's a peg up here, maybe by the crow's head on the stand. That peg actually comes out, and the dynamic
Oh, so you don't have to have a hole in your
plugs in,
peg.
right?
You
Yeah, you
can-
can still have that crow stand under.
Yeah, that's quality.
Comes with the knife that he killed Tintin in. He's got the sword from what the major boss had, the mask, this Zippo
I see
lighter.
Randy Jackson's autograph too.
Yeah, Randy Jackson's autograph is in there. See that black smudge? Randy Jackson's. Why do you have Randy Jackson's autograph on a martial arts weapon? That's a great movie. Comes comes with the Zippo lighter from when he set the crow on fire.
That's cool.
The guitar. What did you say? Like, that's a very ornate sword. That was from when he pulled it out of
That's
the
the church,
at the end of the movie.
Antenna, yeah.
Yeah, Gabriel Cat, all white. He's got the two crows, the crow on fire, and that's it. So yeah, just
I gotta watch that movie again because this toy is like
a
this
ton
toy
of
is pretty
accessories.
cool.
Maybe sometime I'll bring the boxing. I mean, the way that everything is packed too is very well. Nothing is taped in. It's basically a tray, and then like another plastic tray sits on top of it to keep it all compressed in. Like nothing was flying around.
I like when they package stuff like that. You don't have to crinkle it out of the damn package.
It was
just
very
sets
well
in
done.
there. Yeah.
So for $100, definitely well worth it. I did not pay $100, however. I picked this up because the guy offered it to me for $85.
Oh,
so I got it for less than retail. He actually had it on the shelf for $92, and even at that point, I was like, it's a little bit less. Like I don't have to worry about shipping. Like I get to walk home with it. I get it right
tax,
now.
No, yeah.
And I'm sitting there like kind of looking at it. I kind of pulled the old like where I didn't have to negotiate. You just kind of hold something, you flip it over like 6 times, and then the guy's like 85. It's like, all right, I'll have to think about that. I set it back down and I walked away.
Oh,
And
this
then,
guy.
well, because I wanted to go back and look for that Michelangelo, which the guy that had all the Super 7s that's usually there, he did have a Michelangelo, but I'm not paying $75 for it. I literally stood in his booth, went to Big Bad Toy Store, and went, yep, they're still in stock for $50 at BBTS. So I'll get that Michelangelo later, but I ended up going back, and I had 3 singles left and like all 20s. So I'm pulling out the money. I was like, I go, do it. I was like, you do it for 83? And he's like, nope. And then like the guy behind, like I think it was a customer behind me, like starts kind of like chuckling. I'm like, hey, you gotta ask, right? And he started laughing. Like the dude was like kind of all business, but I'm like, whatever, dude. It's the end of the day. Like, go whatever. So yeah, so new toy line started for me. I would definitely be down for collecting some more 112 Collective Mezco figures. There is something that I noticed that's a little bit interesting. So if you go into 112 Collective, obviously I'm a G.I. Joe guy, so let's look there. So they have Destro came out first. He's $100. Roadblock came out second, but he's $95. Then Snake Eyes is $112. And then Storm Shadow is $95.
They have no idea what their price points are.
Well, no, I think it's based on how many accessories they come with. If they come with a couple more, $112. If they come with a little less, $95. So
where does Destro sit? Not as much as Snake Eyes, but more than Roadblock and Storm Shadow?
So you got to like this
Ooh.
one because he's got the teeth, man.
What's up with
and I was
that?
actually looking at this figure when they first announced it.
That's kind of odd that he has teeth.
So, yeah, I mean, you can get him into some cool poses. Got the cloth. I'm interested to see how they did this collar with the cloth goods. But let's just get right to the good stuff. We'll flip through the action shots pretty quick. I like what's in the bag. You actually open the bag and there's stuff in
What's
there.
in the box? That's cool.
He's got the rocket firing out of his wrist gauntlet. Let's see here. Oh, that's cool. He's making his escape. I would probably just use that as a wallpaper, hanging from the helicopter rope with the big smiling shit-eating grin.
That's
on his face.
actually really cool.
So this is the one I'm actually looking at picking up next.
So there's 4 of them
There's 4 Joes?
right now.
Yes, as of right now. And, well, I think Storm Shadow still has yet to be released.
So there's 3 available, 1 to be pre-ordered, if you will.
Correct.
So this is like early enough where you can get in and say,
This
you know
one
what?
came out like last year, so this one I could probably go in.
When it comes to the ultra detail, I've talked to a lot of people about this. When it comes to the ultra detail figures, once you're down this rabbit hole, you are fucked.
Because you can't go back.
You are
can't go back
number
to
one.
Target, Walmart.
Number
toys.
1, I was gonna say number 1, you're fucked. Number
That's why I'm
2,
prefacing this
number
now.
2, you're broke
Yeah.
because these things are $100 at a shot.
Well, I get Father's Day once a year, so.
But I mean, if that's what you collect, and you're like, you know what, I don't have to spend my $20 every week. I can spend once a month.
But that's it. But that's the other part of it too. Like this is the pinnacle of.
I mean,
a collection.
if anything, I would think that it might slow that down, so you're not collecting everything under the fucking sun.
Yeah. Yep. So
you get, dude.
But I mean, there's a lot of
sets
people.
Of hands
There's
plus the 2 he gets.
plus the 2 he comes. Yeah. So like 14 hands. So he's got 14 hands. He's got 3 heads. He's got kind of the more iron square brow type.
I like the laugh. I like the smile because you don't see him like that.
Yeah. Well, this is from the cartoon because he's got the eyebrows.
Yeah.
Remember Retro G.I. Joe Carta Classified?
That's
he
right.
came with the eyebrows to look like the cartoon, and I'm like, where the hell? And I noticed, like, why is this one so much different? Now, this one actually has eyebrows, too.
But that's more vintage.
Yeah.
That's the one on the body is like 25th. The one with the frown is more vintage.
Right.
And that's just awesome.
That's
how I would display him with
I would
that.
display him like that
because you don't
all
see
day
teeth.
long.
It was a mask. It wasn't a face.
So does he have 2 bags? I got to look into this. Maybe he's got 2 bags. So one's got a computer like on the top of it.
Maybe there's a foam that you switch out.
That's what I'm wondering. This one looks like it's actually got the gun loadout in it. This one's got like missiles and all kinds of stuff. Maybe nanomite technology. The gun is
That's in the
modular.
case?
So this is the gun that he came with. This one right here.
Yeah.
And then obviously it's modular because it's the same thing.
Oh, my
There's
goodness.
Things just moving around on it. So it's cool how you can
That
customize
came
that
out
gun.
of the case.
That's what I'm guessing.
Because that's not in his accessory loadout.
Damn it. Yeah. Oh, it's yeah. So this is the gun that's in the case. So it's this guy here. So this is what's in the case. You can do all the shit with it.
Okay.
So again, like, okay, you tell me, is this figure worth $100?
Yes, it's worth $125.
It's a no-brainer. So
you could hold his collar, dude. That's gonna be, dude. Okay, you already said it.
I mean, these things, the way these things are built, are ultra mobile.
First of all,
like posable.
I'm out of collecting. I can't spend the money. 2 weeks later, I'm into Mezco and I'm buying them all. Okay, so we.
sometimes you got to take a step back to take a couple steps forward. So if you look at the list of things here, like Alien, Conan the Barbarian, this is the other thing about it that I like too. Is like look at all the licenses that they have here. You know, like things that even I would collect. You can't get a lot for.
What's that Hulk right below on the ground? What box is that? That's not Mezco, is it?
Bandai.
Bandai.
That's Bandai. Okay.
So, but you've got Conan. Dawn of the Dead. I know you're a bit of an Ash guy.
Yeah.
I don't know what Death Dealer is. Dick Tracy. Actually, there's a Dick Tracy set here that's phenomenal. I'll show you guys in just 1 second before we move on to the next thing.
You need to turn this off because he's going to get me into a new line, and I do not want. I got Mondo.
We need to turn this
I got
off 'cause
Mondo because
he's
Mondo's coming, and I'm going to fall in love with that one figure, and I am
this
going
one
to be in
figure?
trouble. See, it's okay, dude. Seriously,
Yeah.
man.
I mean, look at all you get.
You get 3 figures?
No.
You could change them.
You get the mask, yeah. So this one, I think you can actually change the clothes on. Oh, did that come with a blood splatter? I think it did.
Oh my goodness,
Yeah. Are you getting stiff?
dude! This is
I know somebody that would
sick.
absolutely love this figure.
You're sitting across from him.
This guy right here.
Oh my buddy Rand would fucking love something like this too.
So these, yeah. So you get 3 heads. You get the chainsaw. Makes movie accurate revving sounds.
What?
All right. So we're done looking at that one.
It's only $100.
But that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying is like the licenses that they have are just it's stuff that you can't typically find.
Look at the
anywhere
Warriors.
else.
That Popeye figure is actually really cool too.
See, I went into this earlier. I think this is a 4-figure set where I think you get 2 Furies and you get 2 of the Warriors.
I think
Okay.
I've seen this before,
yeah.
but I can't get the pictures to populate on the website.
Okay.
This Dick Tracy is cool. My 2 favorites I forgot they're coming out with Prune Face. But you got Dick Tracy and Flat Top. And it's the comic version.
Oh,
square
not the
jaw,
movie.
square nose. Yeah.
I'm a closet
Okay.
Dick Tracy fan. I've loved Dick Tracy even before the Warren Beatty movie came out. But yeah, you got the flat top. He comes with 2 different suits: the Tommy gun and the guitar case.
That's cool.
I don't know if the watch makes sounds. I don't know if it's as cool as your chainsaw.
Now, question.
It looks like it's got like a little
It might.
accessory that snaps onto it. Doesn't it look like
that
an
might,
accessory?
Yeah, it might be. And when we get to the accessories page, they'll show it. So you get some gunfire from the gun, or you get some blast effects from the guns. Yeah, it's just super cool. Look like he was
So a
holding his
quick
badge.
question. Just to throw this out there while we're evolving in our conversation.
Mm-hmm.
So you like the Crow.
Mm-hmm.
You said Joe's.
Mhm.
So now, are you collecting lines or are you collecting Mezco? Because now Dick Tracy is something you don't collect, but you like it, and it's Mezco, and it goes with your other figures, and it's going to be the same scale.
So that's kind of the other part of the conversation that I wanted to have today is I would get this figure because now that I have one, like I got that figure because I need more Crow stuff. And it looks cool, so I'm willing to give it a shot.
Okay.
It is my first figure, so I paid less than retail for it.
Sure.
So that's my toe dabble into it. But now, if I got this set, I'd get this set because I'd like something of Dick Tracy to display.
Okay.
I'm going to go here because
Kinda
I know
like the Phantom
I know the
and
quality is fantastic, and for $200, if I had the $200 to swing, like I know I'm going to get my value's worth. I mean, look at this Dick Tracy: 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15 different hands. You got 3 different heads. You got the hat that comes off, and that's just the figure. That's not even his accessories. The coat comes off, so you can go down to his suit. Now you get into the accessories: the Tommy gun, the sticks. It's the little communicator thing, the watch, cup of coffee,
A badge.
I mean, look at this shit, dude. He's got his gun holster thing, and then Flat Top even gets what, 10 hands, 12 hands, 4 heads. You know, his coat comes off.
You get a shotgun.
You got
knives.
a crowbar for Christ's
Cartoon accurate as hell.
Very,
too,
very.
Yes.
You get an extra clip for the Tommy gun.
And again, this clip I'm sure comes out of the gun. So for $200 for those to be on my shelf, yeah. Now I will say this: when I open
I
that
like
figure,
that sawed-off shotgun. That's really cool.
Yeah.
these figures are a little deceiving in the pictures. They look a little bit bigger than they are. I was expecting that crow to be about 7 inches.
He's like 5.5, right?
But then I'm sitting there going, well, it says 1/12 collective. So Brandon Lee's probably about that size, and you scale him down.
yeah, he's a shorter man.
He's
So it's almost accurate to
Yeah.
6 inch, 7 inch.
And he had a little bit of a longer neck. I was kind of goofing with that yesterday. I'm like, why does his neck look so damn long? And I'm looking at pictures of the crow online, and I'm like, he's got a longer neck. So
Huh.
they take a lot of great care in what they're doing here. So, but I don't think I collect Mezco just because it's Mezco. Like, I'm still going to collect because I need something from that line. You know, like I've always liked this Nosferatu movie. I don't know if I'd get this. I don't know if I necessarily need a Nosferatu. That's
Okay.
sold out anyways. But you know, okay, you said you wanted to look at the Popeyes. The Popeyes are really cool. You get
You get 2.
Bluto and Popeye, you know, so 165 for these. But now this is,
You get
That's
both
cool.
of them.
Comics-
You get
this is
Popeye
comics-
and Bluto, I think.
yeah, this is comic strip accurate. So,
That's cool.
I mean, yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, look at how long that neck is. He just looks like an old rankly sailor. So, yeah, I mean, they obviously take great care in the details they put into these figures.
Holy
I mean,
smokes! Look
they-
how big he is compared to Popeye.
they do their research. You know, they've got little things that, yeah, like Popeye. You know, there's a couple episodes where he's in his raincoat. You know,
Wonder if the rain is transferable over to the crow figure. So if you get this one, you don't have to buy the deluxe for the crow. You have the rain.
maybe.
Curious
Maybe.
question. Have to email him.
Yeah. But look, he's got like 3 different corncob pipes.
Holy smokes!
You know, he's got a compass because he's a sailor. He's got a crushed can of spinach, a regular can of spinach. So, I mean, some of the little like callbacks and like Easter eggs they put in some of these figures is
I'm curious how big he is.
Hulk. I mean, there wasn't really a good picture of them standing by each other.
If I
was
remember
there?
right, the Popeye figure, I saw a review on this. If I remember right, if the Popeye figure is just
4?
under 6 inches.
Then that means he has to
He's
be
like
9.
five.
gotta be
He's
like
like 5
7.
and a half or 5 3/4 or something. But
He has to be
Bluto
7 and a half,
Bluto
8.
is fucking huge.
Yeah. So, again,
He could pose with the Hulk.
I could totally be into. Wow, what do they have for Evil Dead 2? I could totally be into Mezco. I would totally buy Mezco figures if it's the right license I'm looking for.
Okay, but Super 7 has a very similar line.
For
Well, like they have the ghost figures, kind of with the cloth and the accessories.
that one had.
So they
cloth.
have. So there's 3 of them, is it there? There's Super 7, there's Mezco, and then there's a third one. Is there not? If I'm not mistaken.
I think I know who you're talking about, but I can't.
I'm looking here. Figure Arts, SHF.
Oh, Fig Arts. Yeah,
yes.
SH Fig
So
Arts.
that's a similar type of line.
Yeah.
Curious if they can be displayed together. If the lines are going to be, so you could pick and choose. You're like, okay, you like SH Figure Arts, which is the Hulk. No, who is that again? That's
Bandai.
that's Bandai.
Which
Which
Okay.
is, I think is basically SH figure.
I think
arts.
that is a Figure Arts. If you look at the box, I think it says Figure Arts on the back. Those are really cool figures.
Yeah.
So can I display? I mean, that was my $80, $90 Hulk out of the box.
The only real
Yeah.
difference that I've noticed between like the Mezco
that's
and
cool.
the Mezco, the Bandai, and the Mafex stuff is
Mafex. That's the other one
Mayfex is
thing.
the other one. Yeah.
is the joints.
Okay.
With the SH Figure Art stuff, the way they make their joints, they're kind of visible.
That's how he is. You could
the
pose him
Mafex-
on his toes, and he could do some crazy poses.
Right.
But
But
it
Fig Arts
doesn't
doesn't
look.
come with soft goods either, typically.
What's that?
Fig Arts doesn't come with soft goods.
No. They're everything is everything on them is what's on them. It's basically molded to them. The Mafex is kind of the same thing, but they have more accessories. The Mafex does.
Yeah.
But I think the Mezco actually tops a lot of that ultra articulated type stuff. Yeah.
So crazy thing here.
They're like at the tip top of. I mean, and quality wise too. I guess they're supposed to be
Now-
like one of the absolute best.
Well, it's like I was showing you guys before the show too. Like the head in that, it's made with like a harder resin. The hair is rubber. It's glued on. It's a separate piece. Obviously, they take great care in making sure it's in the right placement, unlike Hasbro. The most interesting thing is with that harder plastic. Sometimes they're harder to pull on and off the bodies, but Mezco fixed that. They put in rubber inserts. So the rubber insert is what goes on the ball joint, and I mean it pops off super easy. It goes on super easy.
One, it's not going to get all. It's not going to get degraded through time.
Right.
I
It's
mean,
also
the
got
rubber,
enough
the rubber
grip
can
to-
dry out a little bit, but it gives that give, so you're not going to crack his head or you're going to over. It has that.
Yeah, it's got enough grab so it'll stay in place.
Well, some
or
of
it's not going to flop over if he gets like worn
Yeah.
down moving them.
Some of it is actually like what's it called, the grommet material too, that the tough like PVC and what's the other one I'm trying to think of, the silicone,
Yeah.
Okay.
slightly tougher and slightly less degradable.
Now, I haven't really screwed around with it too much. There's some poses I've seen of that crow where it looks like the knees are double jointed, but I think the knees on that are not double jointed. I think they're like the
They're
balls.
thinner,
Well, no, it's
so
just
you can bend further.
It's no, like there's usually like a joint in the thigh and then there's like a joint in the calf.
Yeah.
So you can like double fold it up. But
Right.
this one just it's like the McFarlane's where it like plugs into the thigh and it'll go back and it'll
Oh.
swivel, but it won't like it's not double jointed, so you
won't
can't
bend
get the
it
heel
bend.
up into his
Well,
ass.
it might also be the cloth goods on it too. They might be just kind of tight enough that it won't.
The elbows are double jointed and it works just fine. So but you could be right. It could be because maybe the pants kept it restrictive because it's kind of that
It's
vinyl.
possible, yeah.
And so they just said, you know what? Let's save a little bit of money on it. Let's not make it $112.
Yeah.
We'll just single joint the knees. So, yeah. So Mezco is definitely, a line that I'll be looking at for stuff now, for good collectibles. And I like what they do here with this turtle set, like $400, but you get all of them.
four of them. Yeah, you don't have
get
to collect
all
them.
four of them.
You can't
right
find
now.
the short print one. You get
You got, look at this, like, so each turtle you get 3 different heads. You get a screaming head for each. You get a grimacing head for each, and you just get kind of a stoic. Well, Mikey, there's always a party in his mouth, according to the T-shirts I've seen. But you can even put different ties on the back of their head. There's different slices of pizza. One of them gets a
cloak.
Little Red Riding Hood. Another one gets a jacket. Raphael gets his raincoat. Because Mezco figures come with rain. I think we've determined that.
Yes. Yeah, it's big. It's big in rain. They love the rain.
So, but I mean, you get all kinds of cool gadgets here. Like Donatello gets some stuff. You get the Walkman. I mean, that must be for Star-Lord. Just so look at all the different hands you get too. I mean, it's crazy.
They're different shades.
You get throwing shurikens, throwing stars. You get your communicators. I mean, it's crazy, dude. Like you get the spinning
2 nunchucks and two regular and 2 spinning nunchucks. You get all these. Wow,
and
that's pretty for $400.
And the one thing that always
Yes.
drove me crazy about Donatello is they always gave him 2 bow staffs. He only comes with 1.
Yeah.
So details that I noticed. Details. They got the nightsticks, the billy clubs. I forget what these are called. But yeah, I mean, just like all the stuff that they come with, it's incredible. So yeah, so I'm in on Mezco, but I will be collecting per lines that I see. I think the first one I may go after is that Destro. That's just really cool.
So NECA's probably the introductory to like a Mezco because you're paying $40 for a figure that has really good detail, but doesn't have this detail. So if you want to
Yeah.
get into it, get into the
Yeah.
NECA lines because they're semi-posable. They're not really great, but they have awesome detail and really cool accessories, kind of like that elf you have.
Yeah,
It and that is really posable actually.
Yeah.
I still think to this day the best one that I think they've ever done is that Warduke.
NECA?
Yeah.
That NECA.
I don't know.
I think that's
my daughter has
that's
a bunch of It figures up there that are amazing.
Yeah.
They are amazing.
Honestly, like I like the Phantoms that I have to the point where like when
The Monster Turtles I bought, those are pretty good. Those are NECA does a good job.
yeah.
NECA does a very
Did you
good
see
job.
the Casey
That's-
Jones that
I mean,
sent
that's
you?
just
the
that's
Phantom
just,
of the Opera Casey
Yeah,
Jones.
I ordered him.
that's just my thoughts. So I mean, I
Yeah.
think that's the best one I think I've ever seen. Really,
No,
is
that's,
that Warduke.
And I think NECA lends itself to figures like that for sure. I mean, there's detail in those figures that Hasbro could never achieve. if
I mean,
ever did that.
lately they've really been putting the work into it too. I mean, they've been solving their limb snapping off issue and fixing the type of whatever type of PVC they use or
Ooh, you can get your Iron Fist.
polypropylene or whatever it is they're using.
Yeah.
So I mean, they've really fixed a lot of that stuff.
I think my introductory high-end line is going to be Mondo.
See, I think
When
Yeah.
that thing ships in another month and a half,
Oh, which one did you pick up?
I picked up that He-Man.
That's right, you got that He-Man.
yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, the Mondo.
The one that the ab crunch is busted on.
Yeah.
That's the one I'm going to get. They do have a fix. They'll send you a whole new figure
Yeah.
if it breaks.
So I'm not a huge X-Men guy, but I always did like Gambit.
Excuse me.
Like I just like the way that he looks.
Gambit's pretty badass.
And like just he's a badass kind of rebel. I like the fact that like with his energy and the cards and stuff like that. So like I would consider picking this up. If I found one at a toy show for like $60, like I would consider picking this up. It only retailed at $85, but I mean this is a cool figure. This is kind of the closest I would get to the line of like, yeah, I'm collecting it because it's Mezco.
Okay.
But I think ultimately I would probably pass on this 9 times out of 10 because I don't have any Marvel stuff. I don't.
But
I'm
now
not-
that you know Mezco and you
But now that
that's
I
your
know the
guy,
quality, it's
yeah.
like, all right, well, maybe I expand a little bit. Now maybe Mezco helps me expand more of what I do have in my collection because
Okay.
it's Mezco. So I've typically never been like that. I don't really feel myself going that way. But again, just from the stuff that they already have out, I'm kind of,
yeah.
kind of excited to dip into Mezco a little bit more. So, with that, we got a few minutes left. I wanted to review with you guys this.
Mezco.
So, I'm scrolling around on Facebook and on my G.I. Joe Classified Collectors page. Holy Mother of God. Check out this custom-built USS Flag aircraft carrier built by the Dark Tabby. This thing measures 60 feet long, over 10 feet wide, and 8.5 feet tall. That's taller than a normal human being. There are LED lights on the deck and the interior. There are 6 interior levels, 9 levels of play total, a working crane, a working elevator, moving radars, and a working microphone. The hull doors open and close and even work as blast shields, I think he's supposed to say. So let's get into some pictures here really quick. So can I blow this up full screen?
This is now 10 feet long, 60 feet long.
60 feet long from front to back.
So 60 feet long, that's the size of this basement.
So basement's got to be probably about 70 or 80 because you got to be able to walk around it. But yeah, 10 feet wide from the left edge to the right edge. Now, all of the jets that you see on here, actual full-size 3 3/4 inch vehicles. So, like, look at the blast. Like, if you look at the blast shields that he was talking about, the deck raises, like, that's a couple of jets sitting in front of those. And then there's a Tomahawk.
Tomahawk, yeah.
Let's get inside. So, this is not.
So it looks like it's scale because
it's scaled to 3 3/4 figures. So here's where
those
they're, like-
rooms are big in the ship for in real.
Yeah.
That wow.
So here's
This is-
like
I saw
you
this.
got
This is
rock and roll
amazing.
back here. Blast off. No, what's this guy's name? I forget. Shit. He had the pulverizer. I know that. But repeater. The first thing I noticed was like, oh shit, he's got a bunch of FSS figures in here.
Yeah.
So like the command center, I believe. It's amazing. Yeah, he's got Cover Girl.
I don't like this at all.
Yeah,
Look at the stands.
Yeah, you
it
don't.
makes them look unrealistic. Do you really stand on mats all day?
I like how he's got multiple airtights.
Just-
as like
yeah.
the biohazard unit.
That's
you know.
actually pretty cool.
Yeah, clean sweep and then a couple of different airtights in there. This is the command room. Do you know who this guy is back here?
Spock?
Agent Faces.
Oh.
So that's a custom Agent Faces because they never made him in the modern
Why
era.
are they putting the stands on their feet while they're sitting? This is ridiculous.
So you know who they are.
Well, then don't buy the damn figure if you don't know who they are.
You got Shockwave interrogating a Cobra Trooper, Bullhorn. And then, was it Surefire? They're all like the police arm of G.I. Joe.
So he even has them set up like...
Where they're supposed to be at. Toll Booth is...
Why is Toll Booth over by that radioactive guys with no way radio... Man, he is going to get sick.
That's the fuel. It's the fuel place. I don't know. He's got Dial Tone. He's got himself. Well, there's Taurus. He's got him. There's Breaker.
The detail.
There's
in,
your hit and run. So he's got hit and run in there.
There you go.
He's got hit and run. Crazy Legs. Frostbite.
The detail in this is insane. But just the
that must have taken him years to come up with.
That's what I'm thinking too.
But so here's different levels of collecting. You collect lines. You collect.
Look at
like,
the infirmary.
I'm just
dude.
He-Man. Do you collect multiple things all of a sudden? Do you collect one, collect it all, and then just build something around it for the next 15 years?
Right.
I mean, this
Yeah.
looks like it's plastic too, so he has to manufacture somehow, or
They probably 3D printed the whole thing. No, I don't know.
that.
Yeah. So
I
you
mean,
got-
and he's
like
obviously got money because look, he's got another cover girl there.
That's from the movie. Can't be that expensive. But yeah, now you start to get some exterior shots of it. I mean, look at all he's got a bunch of like the shipwrecks that came in the 2-pack with Copperhead. 'Cause
See, he did it wrong.
You got to have semen on your boat.
He did this wrong.
So
He should have built the basement and then put this down so he could have like the blue ocean, painted the floor blue, had this like a diorama.
pour like a acrylic.
But here's the thing, like, look
Yeah.
at this. So, like, look at the picture that we saw of the hazmat guys, right? And
Yeah.
then it still goes across, and then you've got blowtorch.
There's
over
your
here.
interrogation room down there.
Yep.
There's you got toll booth. So
Yeah,
this thing is
there's
freaking
Shockwave.
amazingly huge.
So here's
Holy smokes!
yeah. I mean, that's what you're looking at, dude. It's pretty freaking
And it's
amazing.
lit up. Every
Yeah.
room has a LED light in it just to light it up. Holy
I don't
cow.
even know how many figures he's got on that deck right now, but these are all like troops.
Aaron is a nobody compared to this guy.
So I love this comment though. Tell me you're married without telling me you're not married. So props to I forget the guy's name already that built that Tabby World. What was it? Dark Tabby. Yeah, props, dude. That is
amazing.
That is
Yeah.
how you display a collection.
That's
I thought
really
this
cool.
looked nice.
That's
As I'm
really
slowly
cool. Yeah.
adding to it, and this is like
When are we building a full scale Castle of Grayskull down here?
yes, yes.
Got to build it in sections so we can tear it
That
apart
is
when
my
we move.
goal this year. If it's not July, it's the October show. I will have a classics Castle Grayskull.
All right.
Yes,
Yeah.
that is
Yeah,
my goal.
I think you'll most likely find it at the October show.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
because there were three of them last year. I saw.
Well, the July show is like right in the middle of the toy show season.
Yeah.
So a lot of
Yeah.
the bigger vendors are going to be at other bigger toy shows.
Yeah,
yeah, maybe more
Especially
a little
ones that,
more
like, if
local.
they're on the West Coast or the East Coast coming in,
Mhm.
they're going to be at the West Coast
I
or
actu-
East Coast shows.
I actually heard quite a few vendors at the show. People will be like, "Oh, are you going to be back here in June?" It's like, "Nah, we don't do the June show here." It was actually the place. It was like the fourth to last place that I looked at that I found my Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
And I think they're from Indiana. And the guy's like, "Oh, you coming back in July?" And he's like, "No, we do like other shows in the summer."
Yeah, with the July show, and they assumed it was probably going to be this way. With the July show, as I was talking to that lady, and the way they work it out, as long as they can fill that big building and at least partially fill that small building, they make their money.
Okay.
So they don't have to worry about filling up rabbit, poultry,
And those
not
are
only
just
that,
bonuses.
but not only that. Well, it's not only that, but it's hot as hell outside by
Yeah.
that time. So people
Right.
really don't want to be outside in that. But I mean, there may be people in there.
Sure.
I mean, there may be some. There's a lot of smaller people getting back into it and stuff. So
I don't think I've ever been to that show when they haven't had at least one of those open.
there was one a few years back that it was
Okay,
was
might have
kind
been
of
the one I didn't
that
go.
it
I
was
know a
kind
few
of-
years
it
ago
was-
I missed
yeah,
the show.
It was kind of small. It was they had the big building was full,
Okay.
and the little building was filled but not full.
yeah,
And there's nobody in poultry, swine, or rabbit. But
yeah.
I mean, the April and the October shows are going to be the two best because they're the best time to go. It's nice outside.
Yeah.
It's not killer hot. You can actually walk in and out of those buildings without sweating your
I gotta
ass
be
off.
honest with you. On a Sunday, if it's that hot, I might rather go to the pool.
I'm a toy show nut,
Yeah.
so I'll be out there sweating my ass off. I don't give a shit. But
Yeah.
but yeah, that's I think the October show will probably be your best bet. But I mean, I think I might try to get out to the July show just to see what's there. maybe there may be less people. I can actually get some good camera shots or some.
We
good
come
B-roll
we
or
come
something.
home from Indianapolis. That's Saturday night, so I don't know if I don't see why I wouldn't. They're going to be tired.
Yeah.
They're going to be gone for a week and a half.
Wait a minute. Are you going to be out drinking all day?
No, Annie has a tournament.
All right, so
She has a week and a half tournament in Indianapolis.
You'll be fine.
But the Motu stores down there, the one I showed you a few months ago.
Yeah, I'd like to go to that with you too.
So
if we could.
here.
Well, I'm going in June. Is it June or July? It's the week. It's the weekend of. It's the week before and the weekend of Chicago Toy Show. So that's when they're going to be down there, and I'll be down there.
That's right.
Yeah.
Wait a minute, you're going down there with the tournament and shit. Though,
So I'll be down there the week before and the week of. So I'll be back and forth. So I'm going to Indy, then come back for work. Go to Indy, come back for work. And they're going to just stay.
Oh,
so
gotcha.
I don't want to stay.
Well,
But
if you
there's
miss-
the Motu stores, so I will be going down there.
no
that
pressure. But
weekend.
if you miss 2 toy shows in a row, you're fired from the band.
All right.
All right.
Any
All right,
props,
look-
Matt?
All right, looking into wrapping it up here, boys.
Yeah.
We'll remind everybody of ShyCon coming up May 20th, 2023. That's out in McCook, Illinois, 4750 South Vernon Avenue, 60525 for those using your GPS. That'll be sponsored by Mr. Wayne's Pop Culture Collectibles and Disc Replay of Orland, Downers, and Countryside. We also got Bridgeview's toy shows coming up May 21st. That's at 7900 Oquito Avenue. Bridgeview Community Center out there. They're going to be having prizes and cosplay like they usually do. It'll be Star Wars celebration this time coming around. So you can dress up as your favorite stormtrooper. They usually have the 501st out there, so
Yeah.
that's usually a really cool show.
Yeah.
But anyway, if you're looking for more information on that, look up toycon.com or contact Terry. For the ShyCon Toy Show, if you're looking for any more information, Midwest Collectibles is the guys to talk to, Richie Sandoval. So go ahead and get a hold of him. Once again, we are Our Toy Addictions. You can look for us on your favorite podcasting medium. That's Apple Podcasts, Podbean, Spotify, TuneIn Radio, iHeartRadio, Player FM, Podchaser, Amazon Music. You can also find us on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram.
Very cool.
So
We're all there.
that's probably going to do it for this week then, boys.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
We'll see you guys next week. You guys take care, and we'll talk to you later.
Sounds good, guys.
See ya.
Autobots, roll out!
I got the last word in.
Nope.